Hi everyone. So this is another video on Jewish beliefs. So it's the third in the videos on Jewish beliefs for Year 11 SOR, and we're still focusing in on this principal belief section of our syllabus mind map. This one we're looking at the importance of the covenant for the Jewish people, and I'll also go through a couple of other Jewish beliefs as well. All right, so we've got a bit of a concept of what the covenant is from our previous work, mainly looking at the covenant made with Abraham and the patriarchs, and then with Moses. But there were other covenants which occurred beforehand, which we sort of know about. Went into a little bit of depth, but didn't go into it too much. So the importance of any covenant is that it affirms a unique relationship between God and the Jewish people, and it was cemented when Moses' covenant at Mount Sinai with the Ten Commandments was made. Now, this has been developed through the Jewish scriptures, which we're going to be looking at in the next dot point for the syllabus, but it was pretty much consolidated with Moses. So we had the covenant with Abraham, with Adam, where he was in the Garden of Eden, and he was given that, and he didn't really have anything to do. All he had to do was look after the animals and plants that were in there, and he wasn't able to do that. So that agreement was broken, and he got cast out. Then we had Noah. He built his ark because there was too much sin in the world, and he saved the animals that were supposed to be saved, and then there was that covenant there where God looked after him after that. Then we know the Abrahamic commandment, you'll have as many descendants as the stars. And then the Moses' covenant of Sinai, that God's going to be their people. He's going to give them the promised land, and they're going to be looked after. And the concept is that the whole of the Torah, so the Pentateuch, the whole five stories in the Old Testament, is all about how the covenant is expressed. So how this relationship between God and the Jewish people is expressed. This is reiterated. This covenant is reiterated through the 613 mitzvot that we spoke about in the previous video. But the problem with the 613 mitzvot, like we said, it started out as 7 and it's got out to 613. There's always different interpretations of those 613 mitzvot and who should be following it and when. So the Orthodox and the Reformed Jews have a bit of a different understanding of those 613 mitzvot, the halacha, and how they're supposed to be used. So in return for God's love, a Jew is bound to observe the halakha. For the Orthodox Jews, the understanding the importance of the covenants reveals the Torah as the teacher and guide for everyday life. So everything that the Orthodox Jew does is basically a literal interpretation of whatever is spelled out in the 613 mitzvot. However, for the progressive Jews, the covenantal relationship is expressed as a deep desire to continue to develop an intellectual engagement with, and arguing over delving deeper into the meaning of the Jewish sacred texts and writings so they can live spiritually well in today's world. So hence why they're called the progressive Jews. So when we look at our map, we're looking at this variance aspect of it. So the Orthodox Jews versus the Reformed Jews there. Regardless of what form of Judaism is, the covenantal relationship is expressed with in the form of a real deep affection with the state of Israel, which in 1948 was Israel became its own state. Looking at Revelation then, so how it is revealed, and that's what we're going to be looking at in the next. Miss Cos is going to do some videos on the Jewish sacred text, but what is revealed, that's the sacred text. We have the 13 articles of faith that we looked at with Moses, Maimonides, and the idea of revelation with Orthodox Judaism, like I said, they do it to the letter of the law. However, the progressive or Reform Jews don't so much see it as an importance to be following it to the letter of the law, but more what is the message that has been is being portrayed in this? Because once you go and have a look at some of the 613 mitzvot, you'll think, how on earth are they meant to be applied in today's life, in today's world? Then another belief that we'll look at, and I only really use this one because you're going to be doing it in Year 12. You're going to be looking at this idea of tikkun olam, which is a reparation of the world, so repairing the world. And it's because, and it stems right back to Adam, where he had dominion over the flora and fauna, so he had a responsibility to look after them, but he didn't do that. So because of his sin, then all other humans have a responsibility to the rest of the world to make sure that they look after it. And if they don't, then they've got to make sure that they repent, say sorry, and try and repair it. So I'll finish that video there. Your job, the rest of your task is on the worksheet. So if you can go through that, and then we'll meet up again soon.